It is maybe the most stressed out I've been about a keynote speech just because when like Women Venture was one of the things that was the most impactful to me when I was a teenager and couldn't even dream about like earning enough money to even get my pilot's license, let alone buy an airplane. And now coming back as not only a speaker, but the keynote speaker, I can't stop thinking about the like 17-year-old version of myself that had convinced my parents to let me go to Oshkosh unsupervised, and knowing that she's gonna be in the crowd somewhere, and I like cannot let her down.
Well, I'm sure you won't. And it's interesting, too, this really lines up. It's no surprise, but this year's theme is design, build, test. And for you, that's like check, 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 right? You're a designer, you're an engineer, you're an aerospace engineer, you're a pilot. So what are you going to focus on with that address on Wednesday?
Man, oh, well, I guess I can give you the punchline of the talk, and then people can decide whether or not they want to come. I my design philosophy and my philosophy with any project is that you don't need to know how something is going to end in order to start it. And I think that it's so easy to get caught up in like I need to have every step of this project laid out. I need to foresee all of the engineering challenges that are going to come up along the way, and like get them all planned out before I start building something. Whereas my like personal engineering philosophy is that as soon as you have an idea, just start building it and keep iterating on it and then test it. And so like that design build test like theme is actually should happen hundreds of times within a project. The hardest skill to develop as an engineer is learning to trust yourself that you will be able to figure out whatever comes up along the way. And as soon as you kind of conquer that mental hill, then it's incredible how much easier everything gets because you're like, oh, I'll just try it. And if it doesn't work, I'll figure it out.
I'm going to pivot on this because you said trust yourself, and I want to pivot to this mental health aspect. And we talked about what your work has been in that the Mental Health and Aviation Act and where that stands right now. As we said, it's in Congress. First of
Yeah.
all, what do you know of its where it stands right now and the prospects of it getting through the Senate after it overwhelmingly went through the House?
Yeah, so it passed unanimously in the House. It has, so where it is right now, it has passed in the Transportation Committee in the Senate. So we're awaiting Senate vote. What's likely going to happen is we're going to pair it with the Aviation Medication Transparency Act, which is going to go through the Transportation Committee shortly, and then hopefully be able to get both of those bills through under. We're hoping for unanimous consent in the Senate.
Do you have the backing of
And
the Transportation Secretary, Xyla? Where do you know where Sean
we
Duffy comes
do.
down on this?
Yeah, so we have the backing of basically everyone, everyone on the Transportation Committee, the NTSB, the FAA. It's a very popular bill because people want, like, generally, we want our pilots to be getting the help that they need. We want people mentally stable in the cockpit, and like access to mental health care is critical for that. It's been bipartisan the entire time. It was bipartisan in the House. It's bipartisan in the Senate.
What did you learn about the power of your voice through this process? And maybe how important is adding that message to your message at Women Venture? Because the whole goal of Women Venture is to empower women.
Yeah, it has been probably the most eye-opening thing I've experienced in my career. Obviously, I went to engineering school. I was not planning to go into politics. This was kind of something that just happened. But my mom grew up in China and immigrated here during the Cultural Revolution. And as I was growing up, she would always bring me to vote with her. She was so adamant that I would vote, and she was like, "You don't understand how beautiful it is that you got to be born in a country where like your voice actually matters." And I think as I got older, I started thinking, you look at the numbers with voting, and I think a lot of people are really discouraged by it. And it's like, does my voice actually matter? Does my vote actually count? And what this process has taught me is that like your voice does matter, and it's so much easier to speak up and use your voice and actually create change than I had ever realized.